Alright guys, here we are to talk about the trailer for the movie Rampage, starring The Rock.
I am very concerned about this.
Concerned in what way? That the game had no plot at all?
Yeah, I heard about this before, and I heard about this a while ago, and there's a lot of video game movies and bullshit coming out, and it was kind of like, oh yeah, we're gonna, someone's talking about doing an Emoji movie, someone's talking about doing a Pez movie, someone's talking about doing a Rampage movie. Like, how would you do that? There's just dudes punching buildings. That's ridiculous. And then someone says, I hear The Rock's going to be in it. And it's like, oh, that'll work, I guess.
It'll probably be great.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But, the plot of the whole thing was, when, the monsters lost, it would turn into, dudes again. So there was a whole thing of, is The Rock going to be one of the monsters and turn into it and then turn back or something? Or is it going to be, him against them, and they're going to inject this idea of, a man fighting the giant monsters?
When you say when they lost, they would turn, so, when they die, they turn into a human? Well, how do you lose? It's not a game.
Rampage is a game, yeah.
But it's not a game now.
No.
It's a movie.
The concept was that they were people, I think, that were turned into the giant monsters, so that if they lost their health, they would fall off the building and then shrink back into a person.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, how would that possibly work in a movie setting?
Well, the concept would be that somehow people were turned into the monsters, and that they could, upon receiving critical damage, instead of dying, turn back into the thing due to whatever radiation, supernatural forces, the T-virus.
I can't imagine anything worse than that. Let's check it out.
That's the point. That's why it's so alarming. So I'm hoping maybe this will just be loosely based on it, and it will be a disaster movie. It will just be San Andreas, except instead of an earthquake, it'll be giant monsters.
Let's do it. Well, what? So
I want you to know that I'm extremely happy because not in the movie or whatever, but I was like, well, how would that work? What would that even be? Okay, let's just joke about what it would be, I guess, right? And it would be this, and it is.
But, what doesn't make sense? So our only character that we're allowed to care about in Monster-wise is, of course, George the gorilla. George becomes a giant gorilla. He just keeps doubling in size, it seems. But everything else that seems to be affected becomes a monster. The wolf is not a giant wolf. It's like an alien giant wolf.
Phalanges.
And that crocodile looks like it could have been the bad
Pacific
guy
Rim.
from... it could be a kaiju. I was going to say it looked almost like a robotic thing that could be oh, that's Michael Bay's new take on a Transformer.
That's and also in the game it was just a different look, they were all anthropomorphized to be humanish or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Which I guess doesn't make sense. But
was one of them a wolf in the game? I don't remember.
Yeah,
that.
There was a wolf. These three.
I remember the one-eyed Cyclopsy thing. I remember a Godzilla thing. I remember the
I may not have played the same thing. I thought that there were only three, and it was gorilla, werewolfy looking dude, and lizard looking, Godzilla dude. But here, two of the things are four-legged. They can't climb buildings. There's one shot where George, checks into a building, and that was very evocative of what the game is supposed to be. But this is only loosely as the Clown Fiesta, or somewhat tangentially related to the game. That creates
good
a whole
people,
plot or whatever.
Really good people.
When Negan shows up, I was like, wait a minute, something fell from the sky, experimental, whatever.
And then you got what's his face, the werewolf dude from True Blood. What is his name? I forget. But
is that who that was? Okay.
Yeah, he's a legit actor.
Yeah.
He's done a couple things since then, the Magic Mike and Pee Wee.
All the hits. It's no, and first shot of George, I'm like, is George played by Anthony Hopkins? This looks all weird. But then later when he's like, I don't know what the fuck, I'm scared, this is weird, I feel weird, I was like, oh, this is okay, cool.
Yeah.
Still ridiculous, but okay, cool.
And then why are the animals together? What would drive them to go to the same city and fight side by side or whatever?
That's what was always interesting, or vaguely made sense about Godzilla or whatever. Was some thing happens and then something else comes and then they fight. It's not oh no, we have to fight three things now. And it's how are they coordinating their tactics? What's their goal? What are you talking about?
Yeah. No, this looks like a very forced movie. My prediction will be at the end. The Rock says George a couple more times. George goes, "You're right. I'm your pal. We're gonna talk with sign language for a second. I'm gonna fuck these monsters up," and then he's gonna kill the wolf and the crocodile or whatever.
Perfect then. I'm totally on board. This will be the feel good hit of whatever summer it comes out.
Oh, I don't want to see this at all.
No, I don't. I do not want to see it. Part of me is happy it exists, though. I think this is dumb.
I'm not happy that it exists for
yeah.
the simple reason that The Rock only has so many movies he can do, and this took away a gem that we could have had.
Yeah, so he's like elevating this material, but why not put him in something that's already good?
Yeah,
and he can just add he can sprinkle his goodness.
Exactly. He takes a lump of coal and turns it into like, okay, it's a semi-joule, but he could take a great script and make it a fucking god movie.
He could take a diamond and turn it into like a better diamond. Fuck.
Yeah. He crushes a diamond and makes a super diamond.
Makes super diamonds. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would totally watch this, to be perfectly honest with you. This seems super dumb in a way that I think that I would have fun with or whatever.
I could watch this like in a group maybe as like a lark, but
I would watch it the way we'd watch like Three-Headed Shark or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I think is totally, if they heard that, they'd be very like, wait, no, that's not what we're going for. This is serious business. You care about George. And like, no, I don't. I totally don't. This is totally dumb.
I also wonder, a 30-foot wolf running and jumping into the blades of a helicopter, would that kill him?
I don't know. I've been scared of blenders ever since the Goonies.
But that's like my thought is like
it's not good.
Is the equation not fair to say like
Kinda,
me
right?
shoving my hand into a blender is the same as me putting my head into a giant blender? Like,
I mean, I guess you can argue that maybe for it now the blades of the helicopter are like coffee stirrers and it's not going to hurt it or something. But I don't know. I'm always very dicey about those things, right? We're like, oh, he's so big the bullets don't hurt, and it's like, I don't know. I've gotten paper cuts and I've been like super upset. Like,
but
like,
if you swing a machete into an elephant, it's gonna cut him. He's not gonna be like ping.
No, it's not gonna. It's just gonna make sparks or something.
Yeah,
it may not even like get very far into his hide or whatever the fuck.
But it will cut him.
Yeah, and it's not like he's made of some new.
And like the
now.
soft things, like on your face, like your eyes, your
Those are very
nose,
important,
your mouth. That could ruin your day.
And I don't know why it would jump at the helicopter. I don't know what's going on. And yeah, maybe they're gonna say like, well, part of the mutation is that their cells are different and they're made of. It's harder than whatever the fuck.
They're like Luke Cage animals.
And why do they leave the fucking crocodile for the end like it's some big like fucking awesome reveal of like, don't worry, we didn't forget about you guys. We also have the like reptilian one. Only it makes no sense now.
No. All right, that's that. No, that's a thumbs down for me.
I think if you were going to loosely make something about a game that has no plot, you might as well give it a plot. And if you have monsters, it might as well be this kind of like stupid monster plot. But I'm not too upset with this.
You can make a game. Like they made the Battleship movie. Like, it wasn't great, but I was like, what the hell's that going to be? And that was all right.
I didn't see that, but yeah.
By comparison, like, the same amount of source material. Battleship is a fucking board game. At least you had characters.
Right.
So you could make something a lot better than this. They could have just made another monster movie with, like, like, oh no, monsters, whatever. And, like, I think the whole... I don't know. It seems like it's such a stretch, and you're just trying to get like butts in the seats. Like,
I mean, I really wonder to what extent like basing it off of Rampage, because that's a game where it's like, do you remember that game? And I'm like, what's that game? And then you start to describe it, and I go, oh yeah, I kind of remember that game. Like, it's not this thing like Mario or something that's like burned into my mind where I'm like, I can't wait to see how they tackle this because there's no story there. It's more like, we made like a Bubble Bobble game or something.
What kind of glorious payday do you think the guy that owned Rampage was like, oh my god, thank God, I was dying in poverty and now it just gave me millions of dollars.
I'm going to predict he just worked for like an hourly wage and owns none of the IP rights, and it's some giant company that exists only to like sue people now, like Atari or the fucking Suncoast West, either Sierra, whatever. There's all these old companies that owned all these fucking properties, but now they just sue people that make games that are like Tetris. They don't make games anymore. It's one of those companies.
So, Rampage was a game where I'm like, after a few minutes, you're like, this game's boring. Because it was literally the same thing over and over again.
And as a kid, you were kind of, I mean, there's probably people that are like, it was my favorite thing, and I'm like the world champion Rampager or whatever.
Yeah, congratulations to that guy.
No, like, if you were at the arcade, like, it was right next to, like, Street Fighter 2 or some shit like that. Like
games that had, like, playability and were different each time.
Stuff going for them or whatever the fuck. But
strange.
So if they're hoping to cash in with that, I hope they didn't pay too much for the license, because you're right, this could have just been anything. I don't see why.
Well, this movie they dropped like $100 million on this.
Yeah, well, no, I mean
for
like,
yeah,
exactly. But like, you would do that if you thought, well, we own the license tie-in, this is going to be a thing for us. Right? The only thing you're getting is this small amount of buzz of people like, well, video game movies all suck. Could this one be like good? Then, it makes no sense. There's no plot here. Well, let's see what happens. Like, there's just this morbid curiosity factor. It's not like this is like a Zelda movie or something like that.
Yeah, because if you were to re-release this game, it wouldn't be the same game. They would be changing it so like
there'd be gems and you'd have to unlock things. No, like yeah, right. Like, do they want to like start making merch for what? Lizard guy you don't know the name of? Like a mobile game of Rampage where you just keep tapping and he punches the building? Like, there's nothing here. Like
No.
they're so desperate that they're mining things that don't exist, hoping for something that will never come. Two thumbs up. You heard it.
That's obviously a joke. Yeah. So this is very on the nose what we thought it was kind of going to be, where it's like, what are they going to make out of that? Nothing. Let us know in the comments below what you think about this. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.